Hello, my name is Ben Alexander, and I have autism. And the movie I am going to review today is Boss Baby. And this movie was a pretty emotional movie for me. So the whole theme of the movie is family is more important than anything. And that's really the theme of this movie. And by the way, before I tell you what happens, please, I'd invite you to watch Boss Baby, then come back and watch my video. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I just want to make that disclaimer real fast. But yeah, so now we're going to get into the movie review, and I'm very excited to share my experience of the movie because I really did think Boss Baby was a great movie. So at the beginning of the movie, Boss Baby comes in and really wrecks Tim's life. So basically they had like a baby thing in heaven. It was kind of like how are babies made and all that stuff. And it was like honestly like a baby in a conveyor belt and all that stuff. I mean, obviously it was a cartoon movie, and it was meant for kids. It's kind of a family movie too. I think there are some good things looking at it as an adult that I got out of this, so I will say that at least. So the Boss Baby comes in and makes Tim's life pretty miserable because Tim had such a great life. His parents cared about him, and once the baby came, it just seemed like he got neglected, and he felt neglected, like they didn't have the same energy for him as the new baby, and he got pretty mad. So one of the scenes, he was trying to throw the baby out, and his parents got mad and grounded him for it. And yeah, and it's the valley, and Boss Baby and Tim had to work throughout the movie to kind of repair a relationship a little bit. The Boss Baby's like, we need you, you need me, that type of stuff, because there's a puppy company that is trying to steal all the love from the babies. It's like from babies to dogs and puppies. So the babies were obviously trying to stop that, and Boss Baby is trying to get the promotion. At the end of the movie, it was kind of crazy because the parents were in the management of the place, I believe, and yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. I'm looking through my notes, by the way, just to make sure I don't miss anything, because their parents at the end of the movie were basically being kidnapped, thrown into a rocket, and Boss Baby and Tim go and save them. So it was just one of those funny things that happened. And yeah, so after they saved their parents, Boss Baby and Tim end up, I guess, moving ways. So they have like a thing where Tim's parents, like, you couldn't even remember the babies, or couldn't even remember what happened. So it was like a hypnotizing thing that they had. They had like baby fairies or something like that. So it was kind of interesting. And yeah, it's just one of those things that it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. And then the baby fairies get to Tim. It's like, you want your memory released? And Tim said no. Because at the end of the movie, the Boss Baby and Tim fought, but at the end of the movie, they found a bond that was stronger than anything else, despite all the bickering and annoyance they caused each other. They ended up forming a deep friendship, and Tim really valued that. And at the end of the movie, they split apart. Tim was actually pretty sad, which is, from the beginning of the movie, Tim wanted Boss Baby out, but Boss Baby ended up making him sad at the end of the movie because he wasn't there. So it was kind of crazy. And then Boss Baby was at the highest corporation in the Boss Baby thing. So, but then at the end of the day, he gave up his position as Boss Baby and ended up growing up. Because the thing with being a Boss Baby, so they had like two routes. I forgot to explain this. So it was like management. It was the management route and the family route. The management route, you really didn't grow. You were in this corporation type of business. So it was definitely a creative movie for sure. It was a little interesting, I guess. It's hard to explain, but easy to understand at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but so they went two routes. Boss Baby went the management route, and then once he reached the top of the management route, he realizes, you know what? I want to go the family route. I'm choosing my own route. I'm going through the family, and then Tim's parents end up, and then it's all over again, and then Tim's happy, and then they all grow up together, loving each other. The end. That was type of the movie. So, yeah, and then they were explaining the story to Tim's daughter, which that's pretty funny. And the baby sister's the same thing. So, so they had a baby sister in a suit, I believe. So there's also a Boss Baby 2 in 2021. I've never watched it before. I don't know if it's on Tubi or if I'm going to have to buy it and watch it. But yeah, I did research on Google that the movie kind of flopped. But again, I'm willing to watch it to see if it did flop. So yeah, honestly, I thought it was a good movie. Like, it made me emotional because of thinking about my family and all that stuff. And, you know, it was probably a great lesson that family's everything. And I think that's probably the coolest part of the movie, and teaching kids that is great. And as an adult, it's also a reminder that family is everything, and, you know, taking care of your family. And that doesn't mean that you have to get married and have kids, but taking care of your immediate family, like your parents and your siblings. That's what I mean by family. But obviously it could mean having kids and having a wife or husband, you know, romantic partner, I guess. You know, that type of stuff. Like, you know, family's a very complex issue, I guess. Or, you know what I mean? Well, I don't know if I should say. I mean, there are issues that are complex. It's not, I mean, family is everything, like I said. But it definitely can be a complicated topic, I guess, when it comes to family members sometimes. And yeah, it's just one of those things where, yeah, so family's everything, serving them and being there for them is great, even through the tough times. And yeah, it just gave me a reminder of that family is everything. And even though we have complex issues, the parents, you know, family still succeeds and is very important in life. And yeah, what about you? Have you watched Boss Baby before? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, yeah, that's all I have on my notes, and that's all I have for this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.